The biggest mistake even smart people make in their 20s. Why do some people seem to effortlessly build powerful lives by their 30s, while others feel like they're still figuring it out? What if the most valuable currency you have in your 20s isn't money, but something far more potent? And what if no one ever taught you how to use it, leaving you to pay the price later in silence? Welcome to Live Stoic. Live strong, where we trade illusions for truth, where emotions are felt, but not obeyed, where clarity is power, and discipline is freedom. Jim Plore. This is not just a channel Habalprar. It's a mindset. It's a journey of conscious living. Plore. Let's begin. Inside, I woke up in a life I no longer recognized. He wasn't addicted to drugs, not to alcohol, not to gambling. But Tom was still addicted. Addicted to noise, distraction, and the never-ending drip of cheap dopamine. Social media, games, YouTube, TikTok. He consumed them all like air. Tom was a childhood friend of mine. Bright, witty, and thoughtful. But somewhere along the way, the light in his eyes dimmed. Always exhausted. Always too busy. Always scrolling. He was there, but not really. For over 6 years, Tom was trapped. On average, he spent 8 to 12 hours a day glued to screens. He called it relaxing. I called it slow suicide. TikTok in the bathroom, Netflix at dinner, games until 3 a.m. Repeat. The consequences were brutal. He gained over 20 kilograms, slept like a ghost, couldn't hold a thought for more than 10 seconds. He dropped out of college, drifted through meaningless jobs, and saw his closest friendships dissolve. His self-worth crumbled quietly, like paper in the rain. But Tom wasn't lazy. He was lost. Jung would say he was running from his shadow, the broken part of him that he refused to acknowledge, and so it ruled him from the dark. One morning, after a sleepless night spent watching compilation videos, Tom looked out the window and saw the sunrise. But it didn't feel like a new day. It felt like déjà vu, as if he'd lived the same empty dawn for years. That moment broke him. In his journal he wrote, "I haven't lived in years, I've only consumed." That was the beginning. Tom disappeared for months, deleted all social apps, sold his gaming PC, threw his TV into storage, started journaling daily. He replaced TikTok with morning runs, and Netflix with Stoic meditations. He wept reading Marcus Aurelius, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do." He relapsed, naturally. The urge to scroll late at night was strong. But this time, he didn't shame himself. He simply watched. Witnessed the craving. "I am not this urge," he told me once. "I'm the observer of it." He started making peace with his shadow. Sat with it in silence. Named the fear. Gave it a gruken. Tom is not a guru, not a hero. But he's alive. He works at a small design studio now. Rides his bike to work. He cooks, reads, and journals. Still feels the itch to numb himself some nights. But now he knows better. He chooses awareness. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do. Marcus Aurelius. Tom didn't defeat the world. He didn't need to. He simply stopped abandoning himself. From the bottom of my heart, I want to express my sincere gratitude to each and every one of you, no matter where you are in the world, for taking the time to watch this video. Your presence and support are the driving force that keeps me creating and sharing. No words can truly capture the depth of my appreciation. Thank you for being here. Thank you for believing. And thank you for walking this journey with me. This video was made possible by Brilliant.org, and today, we're revealing 4 essential truths that every 20-year-old needs to know, yet very few are ever told. Truth number 1. Your energy, mental focus, emotional drive, physical stamina is a finite resource. You only have so much each day. And whether you're aware of it or not, you're constantly spending it, like money from a hidden account. Truth number 2. Where and how you invest that energy. It determines everything: your habits, your growth, your future. The return on that investment shapes your entire life. Truth number 3. Most people, often without realizing, will guide you to invest your energy in things that benefit them, not you. It could be distractions, social obligations, or beliefs that don't serve your future. Truth number 4. You'll likely never again have the level of untamed, abundant energy that you do right now in your 20s. These years are a one-time opportunity, your most powerful window to build the life you dream of. But here's the problem. Because most 20-year-olds aren't taught to recognize these truths, they fall into the same trap. They let their energy slip away into temporary pleasure. They chase comfort, escape, and validation, instead of building the foundation they'll stand on for decades to come, until one day, they look back, and they see how much they traded away, for so little in return. The cost of chasing fleeting pleasure in your 20s? It's regret in your 30s. Deep, haunting, and often silent regret. But there's a different path. A powerful one. If you learn to be disciplined, to direct your energy with intention, you'll be amazed by what you can create by the time you're 30. Because when you plant the right seeds now, you don't just grow success, you grow abundance. Abundant health, wealth, wisdom, love, and strength. And abundance matters. It gives you stability when life gets hard. It allows you to help others. It gives you influence, direction, and the quiet confidence of someone who knows who they are. Those who are abundant often become leaders, not because they seek power, but because people are drawn to their clarity and discipline. So the real question is, how do you invest your energy wisely? What's the framework that guides these decisions? It all comes down to 3 key concepts that every 20-year-old must understand to build discipline and invest energy wisely. Pushpin compound interest. Pushpin purchasing power. Pushpin the 5 best assets to invest in. Let's begin with the first and most mind-shifting idea. The deep connection between your energy and compound interest. Picture this. It's 2024. 2 20-year-olds, Jack and Jill, each receive $5,000 per year to invest. But this money isn't cash. It's a metaphor for their energy. Jill chooses to invest her energy into something that grows at 7% a year. A good habit, like reading daily, consistent fitness, or building a valuable skill. Jack, meanwhile, invests his energy into something that loses 7% a year, like endless distractions, poor health choices, or toxic relationships. In year 1, they both have $5,000. No real difference. Year 2, Jill now has $10,350. Jack has $9,600. Not a huge gap yet. Jack barely notices. He thinks, we're basically in the same spot. But over time, the pattern continues. Each year, they both invest the same amount of energy. But while Jill's habits compound positively, Jack slowly erode his value. By year 10, Jill has around $69,000 worth of energy invested. Jack? just about $37,000. That's nearly half. And now, Jack feels the difference. The gap is no longer subtle. It's overwhelming. The regret? Real. The consequences? Unavoidable. But the truth? It was all in his control. Right finger. In the next section, we'll explore the second life-changing concept, purchasing power, and how to make sure you're not trading your best energy for things that drain you and never give back. We've just seen how Jill pulled ahead, not through luck or talent, but by consistently investing her energy into something that compounded over time. That simple but powerful decision changed everything. And now, it's time to unpack exactly why compound interest is such a game changer. Not just in money, but in life. How did Jill create such a big lead? She made a small but smart choice to invest her energy consistently into something that would grow, little by little, year after year. Over time, compound interest took over, turning those small, steady deposits into something massive. This is how real wealth is built, and not just financial wealth. In fact, compound interest is the only reliable path to long-term abundance in any area of life. Now take that metaphor and apply it to your daily habits. The same logic holds true. If you consistently invest your time and energy into good habits while you're young, reading, training, learning, reflecting, the results may not show immediately. You might even feel like you're falling behind others who are chasing quick pleasure. But wait, just give it time. Now, as the years pass, those habits compound. Your momentum builds, and one day you'll wake up far ahead of the pack in health, career, mindset, and peace of mind. That's the real power of compound interest. It works invisibly, quietly, and then all at once. But this is only one part of the success equation. The next piece of the puzzle is just as crucial and often misunderstood. Purchasing power. Let's go back to our metaphor. Imagine now that instead of having $5,000 a year to invest, Jack and Jill each lose $200 of purchasing power annually. That means even if they keep investing, the value of what they can buy is shrinking, so their potential returns decrease. Slowly but surely. Now take that idea and apply it to your energy. As you age, your available energy, your purchasing power, gradually declines. Why? Because life gets heavier. You take on more responsibilities, caring for family, managing bills, keeping up with your home, your health, your career. Your body starts to wear. You don't recover as fast. You can't pull all-nighters the way you used to. Your attention gets divided, your time gets stretched. For example, maybe your eyesight weakens, so reading becomes harder. Or your physical stamina dips, so you can't work as intensely. Your immune system might get slower, making you more vulnerable to stress or illness. And here's the hard truth. The most abundant, flexible, and powerful energy you'll ever have in your life is most available in your 20s to early 30s. After that, you don't just lose energy, you gain friction, more demands, more distractions, more fatigue. So what does this mean? It means the easiest time to form good habits and to break bad ones is right now, while your energy is still high and your commitments are still manageable. Most young people don't realize this. They assume they'll always be this strong, this sharp, this adaptable. But slowly, life starts to close in, and their freedom narrows. They wake up one day and realize, I can't just change my life overnight anymore. That's the hidden cost of losing purchasing power. You're no longer as free to choose, to shift, to grow quickly. That window starts closing, and you didn't even see it happening. So now we've explored two powerful truths. Checkmark compound interest. Checkmark purchasing power. But there's one final piece, the third and perhaps most practical one. Right finger. The 5 best assets to invest your energy into while you're still young. These aren't just ideas. They're forms of capital, real value, that will serve you for the rest of your life if you start building them early. Let's explore them. 1. Productive capital. This is your ability to produce value through expertise. The sooner you start developing a deep skill set in any meaningful domain, the more valuable you'll become to the world. And the more value you can offer, the easier it will be to make a living with freedom and confidence. 2. Spiritual capital. This is the strength of your conscience, your internal compass. When it's strong, it guides you toward wise decisions, even in chaos. But like a muscle, it needs exercise. If you don't nurture it while you're young, you may lose touch with it later and lose your way. 3. Intellectual capital. This is your ability to process and transform negative emotions, depression, anxiety, longing, into growth and action. As you get older, life brings more pressure, and if you can't manage your mind, that pressure becomes suffering. But if you build mental strength now, you'll be able to turn pain into insight and stress into strategy. 4. Social capital. Right finger. In the next part, we'll explore the final 2 powerful forms of capital, social capital and physical capital, and how mastering these will set you up for a life of resilience, success, and deep connection. In the last section, we uncovered the 5 best assets you can invest your energy into while you're still young. We've already explored the first 3, productive, spiritual, and intellectual capital. Now let's continue this journey with the final 2 and see how everything connects. Let's return for a moment to intellectual capital. If you don't learn how to process your negative emotions early in life, emotions like frustration, anxiety, longing, sadness, they won't just disappear. They'll grow, they'll build, and one day they'll overwhelm you, devour you, drain your clarity, your motivation, and your momentum. But if you do learn how to transform those emotions, to sit with them, study them, and use them, you'll unlock a secret weapon. You can turn pain into power. You can turn confusion into clarity. And that alone can change the trajectory of your life. Now let's talk about the 4th form of capital, social capital. This isn't about how many followers you have or how many people know your name. It's about depth, not width. True social capital is the quality of your relationships. Ask yourself this: how many people in your life would walk through a storm with you, not just cheer for you when the sun is shining? That's how you measure it. Not in likes, in loyalty, not in attention, in authenticity. Because life, real life, is impossible to do alone. When hardship comes, and it will, you'll need a strong community. People who lift you, check on you, cry with you, and celebrate you. The stronger your tribe, the more resilient you become. And here's the catch. Building deep relationships becomes harder as you get older. People get busier. Walls go up. Trust takes longer. So the best time to start cultivating meaningful friendships and bonds is now. Last but not least, let's talk about physical capital. This is the foundation, your body, your vessel. Because if your body breaks down, everything else becomes harder. But if it's strong, fueled by consistent fitness, good sleep, a calm mind, and balanced nutrition, you create a massive reserve of free energy. And that energy, you can invest it into your dreams. The healthier you are, the more you can build. The stronger you are, the farther you can go. No more ma. So here's the truth. If you take the time, even just a little each day, to invest in these 5 forms of capital while you're still young, your future self will thank you more than words can say. By the time you're 30, you'll have built a life that feels light, powerful, and full of possibilities. Now that you understand the 3 core concepts: checkmark compound interest, checkmark purchasing power, checkmark the 5 best forms of capital, there's just one more step: implementation. All this insight means nothing without action. So what should you do next? Simple. Create a daily schedule, a rhythm that allows you to invest small, consistent doses of energy into building each form of capital. Even just 20 to 30 minutes per day in each category can change your life over time. This schedule shouldn't feel like a burden. It should be sustainable, realistic enough to keep going for months or years, because that's how compound interest works, through consistency, not intensity. This schedule won't rob you of pleasure or fun. In fact, it'll protect your ability to enjoy both, because while you're living in the moment, you're also building a future that rewards you for it. If you follow this path, your 20s will become a launchpad, not a loop, and when you hit your 30s, you won't just survive. You'll thrive, emotionally, physically, socially, spiritually, and financially. So let's recap. You now know the mistake to avoid in your 20s: blindly chasing pleasure. You understand why your energy is most powerful right now, and how to invest it wisely. And you have the framework, a sustainable daily plan, to make these lessons real. But we're not done yet. Right finger, if you want to dive deeper into the practical steps for building each of these 5 forms of capital, stay tuned for my next video. We'll break each one down, step by step, so you know exactly what to do. And as a special bonus, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, Brilliant.org. Brilliant is where learning comes alive. So here's the truth no one told us growing up. Your 20s are not a playground, they're a battlefield. Not a war against the world, but a battle within yourself, between who you are and who you're meant to become. Every choice you make now, every minute you waste or invest, it all echoes into your future. You can chase comfort, or you can chase growth. You can numb the pain, or you can face it and rise from it. You can be like everyone else, or you can become unshakable. But you must choose. And you must choose now, because time doesn't wait. And neither will your potential. Start small, stay consistent, honor your energy, build your capital, and when the storm comes, because it will, you won't break. You'll lead. That's the Stoic path. That's the strong path. And that is how you build a life worth living. Thank you for your time. If one idea touched you today, come back next time. It may reach deeper. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs a quiet moment. See you in the next video.